Hello to Appy Hour. Today's topic, orientation and articulation, featuring Google Apps for EDU. Asking you a question. What do you remember most about starting high school? I've done high school. If your memory is middle, if your memory is elementary, I'm pretty flexible. What do you remember about that? Your first memories of your school? And if you can throw a shout out, give a name to that, give a name to your school. You could hashtag I'm a WJHS member. You could tell us what the schools do because that's always fun. So I know you went to Blair. Go Bears. Absolutely.
Carrie, I actually went to the old Blair.
So if there's any Silver Spring International fans out there, there you go.
There you go. And that was why I was so scared, because it was so good.
Absolutely. Oakland High School, very large. Graduating class, absolutely. I'll tell you from WJ, I remember it being so loud. I come from a Catholic school with 30 kids in the 8th grade, and you talk in the halls when you walked at St. Jane de Chanel, and man, did people talk, run, and jump in the halls at WJ. We all have these first memories, and almost everybody's memory included something different, something stressful, and something anxious. So today's topic on orientation and articulation is really focused on how we can make, using these technical tools, this process more efficient for us as humans and also better for our students. I always think of kindergarten orientation like our first hug. Parents don't know this big system. We know it so well. They don't know it. I didn't know, even though I've been in the county for almost 20 years. So how can we take this process that brings people in and make it better? In 3 ways. The first big topic is bragging. We're great. We want to make sure that we share that impression with parents. And we're going to do that with the slides in our PowerPoint. We're connecting with the parents and really creating a connection digitally that keeps them going and with us. And we want to collect information because life is hard and it is too short to retype anything. If you agree with that, you can give me agree is our little symbol for that in Appy Hour is exclamation points. So if you think you should never have to retype anything, exclamation point with me. If you're happy with this agenda, give me a smiley face, kind of some sort, in the chat. Our first agenda item is the brag. And we do have two. I'm actually going to do something for one of the first times. I'm going to actually highlight PowerPoint in addition to the slides. That's our tip and our trick. But before we get to that, I'll give a little shout out here for our 3 rules of thumb presentation. Is there a link? If you could get a link to that one in the chat, that would be awesome. If you have time, this presentation really goes through how to make your presentation spectacular. So I'll give you one little trick from that presentation today, which was go big or go home. Almost whether you're elementary or high school, we use pictures and images to say how great our schools are. In communication in particular, they're showing parents what a day looks like for the kids. So go home advice is, what people want to see are the pictures. So make it big. Take your pictures and make them as big as possible. Pixelated because thank you, Forest Knolls Elementary, for sharing these pictures with me. And I had to drag what was really small, really big. But nice, clean, clear pictures taken off your phone. And then just put a little text over top of it saying what the day's work is. They want to see the big click pictures for classroom. A beautiful flip while parents are waiting to sign their kids up. Of my go big or go home. If you want more, check out our link to our go big or go home Appy Hour. Link in the chat. Now, the second way is you want to save yourself time. So how do you get from here to a presentation in T-minus 2 seconds? So I'm going to share with you for a second, because this is something that you just can't do in slides yet. And so I'm going to show you how to do it super easy in PowerPoint. And it's called making a photo gallery. If you can give me a yes or a smile in the chat. And
You have to go up to that green bar at the top and hover, and it will drop back down. You can reopen it.
over here, you'll point on the screen. I do want to make sure everyone can keep talking with me. So if you'll give me an emoticon in the chat, that'd be great. If you're not sure how to do that, roll your mouse up to the very top or cursor up to the top of the screen, and you'll see a little icon that looks like that, and then you can give me a smiley face. I'm here at PowerPoint. I want to make this as quick and painless as possible. So in PowerPoint, you go to Photo Album, and Photo Album. This is what you're going to get to do. It's taken, let's say you've taken 100 pictures of your class. And pictures of kids, but also, hey, all those pictures of if you're kindergarten, all the pictures of the first day kindergarten pictures the kids did last year. If you're high school, it's all your sports stuff. If you're middle school, it's the clubs and the classes. And dump them into one folder. Then you come here and click File Disk. What you do is it's going to have you navigate to a place where you have lots of pictures. So you just go in and find pictures, and go into Pictures. You can just click on the entire folder. Isn't that awesome? So you can just come straight in. Insert. Yours would be of your kids, like you teach. Mine just happen to be of my children. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to take all of these pictures and it's going to embed them as giant pictures on each of your different slides, without you having to do any additional work. So you can make a beautiful presentation that shows the life of your school in about. If you have, go ahead and throw them in the chat. And go ahead and give me a smiley face. Do you want to jump in and share something?
I'm sorry, I was unmuted by accident.
You're moved because you like the pictures, right? My computer's running a little slow because I have the internet up on it. So if you you could do these in chunks of 30 or 40 pictures if your computer goes a little slow. It'll work for you. Then with this, I'm sharing for just a second. And now I'm going to say, how do slides come into this? Because slides presentations are awesome as well. One of the reasons I like slides is it's so easy to insert videos of your students and yourself, as well as it's really easy to share this stuff with students. And as my little spinner goes here, so if you can hear me, great, don't worry, I'm just taking you back. If you couldn't for a second, don't worry, I will get you back. If you do presentation in PowerPoint, heads back over. I believe in you. Internet effective effort will lead to your success. I was cheating on Google Apps for EDU with PowerPoint. It must not. my nice little pictures and pieces of information. Made your PowerPoint presentation. Once you've gone in and used your PowerPoint to say, this will look like. The next step is actually to switch it over into slides, which is something a lot of us have realized you can do really easily. So I'm going to share it with you.
Welcome to WebEx. Code or meeting number followed by pound.
It sounds like Carrie's having some technical issues on her end. So I'll share a couple of things with you that you can use when you're planning presentations. We're having technical difficulties, Brenda, so it'll be just a moment. But there's a couple of places that you can get images if you don't want to use pictures of your own students. One of them is Pixabay. I'll put both of the URLs into the chat. Pixabay is a common zero place where you can get pictures. You do have to pay attention, though, because usually the first row are Shuttercock, so they're the ones that you have to pay for. But if you go, or they have the image, the watermark on them. But if you go just below that, you can get pages and pages of pictures that you can use in your presentations, and you don't have to cite them. It's always nice I always put the URL in to say, hey, guys, it's Pixabay, because it's such a cool website. It is a website. It is not an app. So just letting you know that you can find it just by looking up Pixabay. And again, I'll put the URL in the chat in a moment. And the other one, which is super cool that probably you all have never heard of, is called Unsplash. And I'll put that in there as well. Unsplash is one. If you're using Google Slides, you know you have the option when you're using Google Slides that you can put whatever picture you want as your background. And the photos that people have taken, again, zero comments, so anybody can use them. And you can put them as the background for your slides. And they're cool. They're things like waterfalls or landscapes, ocean scenes. There's people, anything you can think of, super cool. And they're pictures designed to be backgrounds in slides, super busy. They have like clear as a spot where you put text or where you can put something that you want to put in. So let me get those and I'll throw them into the chat for you. They work perfectly with the rules of big images that Carrie is talking about.
see here.
All right, I'll get those two URLs and throw them in the chat for you, and I'll be back in a bit.
And well, we'll see. We'll see how well this goes, because not much is going well in here from a computer point of view, which is actually one of the good reasons you use images. They speak louder than words when you're communicating to your parents, and when you have these very first pieces, and this is the first stuff that's going on, your impressions of your school are there. So if you can find ways to show your real students, even if you're taking backs of the heads, also if these are internal, these are the types of things that parents are going to see and they're going to respond to. Let me shift you over, and we'll go to our next piece in the puzzle, which is to connect with them. And we've got three different kind of ideas. I was talking with an administrator today, and he's a big tweeter. But it said, but what if the parents don't tweet? Well, here's what we know parents. They will know where the information is if you give them a reason to go there. So these orientation moments are a good time to get them used to information. On the other hand, we don't have a lot of time out there to lots of reading. So one thing I'll point you to is 21st Century Newsletters. We did a whole if you want information on how to work this in your world, this is the link so that you can watch it later. But one little tip from here, which is TweetDeck. Show you. Let me come back. After that, we're actually going to show you from TweetDeck. We'll take you and show you Clipchamp, which are two different ways you can use to connect with your parents. I'm going to shift over, and I'm going to show you by Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter account, everybody can set one up. Here for a quick sec for you. And if it does, I may have Lynn go to TweetDeck and so I take you right here to the words TweetDeck. Here we go. So what is TweetDeck? Well, I love this. I actually went on vacation last week. It was so much fun to see email pings back for people forwarding my tweets. But trust me, I was not tweeting while I was on vacation. What had happened was I had used TweetDeck to pre-program the tweet one out there. So imagine if you give yourself a month to sit down and do a tweet for that are happening in your classroom or with orientation. Paperwork by this, signed by this day, come in for this, meeting. I have to give a huge shout out to Walter Johnson. They do a great job for all incoming private school students. They have a lot of meetings and deadlines and dates geared directly to bring these folks in. My nephews in the process of right now saying, you're out at your private Catholic schools, how do you come in and access our information? And they take all of these different orientations and in 10 minutes or less, set up and send a tweet out to everybody with this. Then parents can follow if they choose to get the information they need. So it looks like the pieces. I don't use it as really a reading of Google. I use it because I can press tweet. I can then schedule my tweets for whenever I want them to go. If I want it to go here, and I want it at the very end, I'm going to make it be in 20 minutes. You know, 20 minutes from now, I'm going to say Appy Hour with Lynn, and I'll put Lynn here. Anybody else out there, if you have if you have a Google handle, throw it in the chat right now. And we're saying orientation on Thursday. Don't forget Appy Hour 2 weeks from now. This is how I make sure to send out pertinent information. What's also fun is that you can assign other people to tweet for you. So if you're an administrator, if you're an IDA, sports and school administrator, you can help control the information of your school. Here, Elisa's in here too. We'll tweet at We'll get Lisa's in here. And I press tweet. And Twitter deck is open or not. It's going to go. In connecting with parents and information, you can take your process, take 10 minutes, and put them all out there. And we all, as Brenda said, we often forget to tweet. This has made me a far more consistent tweeter. And it also, when you have new parents coming to your school, I know I've done it, the first thing I did is I went and I looked at the social media accounts, and I said, what do they say? Is your Twitter account telling the story of your school? Or are you only tweeting the sports events? Is your Twitter account only about dates and deadlines? Is your Twitter account saying who you are and what it means to you as a school? It's a story of how awesome you are. So use it to do so. And one of the best ways you can balance and tell that story is to schedule tweets. I love that. It's also a way you can actually take direct messages and talk with your community. That's really a second step. First, be consistent with information. And the question is, so do you create an account on the site that's linked to your Twitter account? What you do when you log in is you actually just log in with your regular account that you already have and it begins working. TweetDeck is owned by Twitter. So it will ask you to log in with your account when you go here for the very first time, and it will show that account to you. And you go ahead and throw a smiley face in the chat. And up.
Carrie?
Yes?
I did in the chat. For me, when I use TweetDeck, I'm learning a whole lot from you right now because I have never done what you're describing. But I use it sort of as a way to sort my tweets. So I identify what my tweet decks are going to be. One of the notifications, one of them is Maryland Egg Camp, one of them is Google Apps for Education, and it sorts it for me.
So now right back at me learning too. That's what this little button up here does, huh? It allows you to sort what kind of content you want. So when you come in, it's just the relevant information. So you could have messages to you. You could have, I just want to see these pieces. You could have one just for Appy Hour party people. Yes, you can have an Appy Hour tweet deck. What a great idea.
So what I would caution is not to have too many decks because it can make you crazy. I had to eliminate, I had like 6 up, and I see, Carrie, you have a lot. My craziness level is pretty low. So I have 4 at the most, and sometimes I'll swim out. Sometimes I'll put in the Washington Nationals because I love the Washington Nationals. Very fluid. You can do really whatever you want.
Make one for Appy Hour when we hashtag within it would just come. You could do one just for orientation. It's a nice way to start to organize some of your digital life.
Thing I learned, I felt like I always had to have a picture with my tweet, which was sort of narrowing when I tweeted because I didn't always remember. Like Lynn and I don't remember to take our pictures. But you don't have to have a picture. So Brent, kind of like you, I would forget, but do it when you remember. And that's fine. There's really no rules.
As long as your social media is telling a good story, a balanced story about what you want your school to be, you're doing great. And hopefully this tool will help you to create that story. So that's one idea. We've got a second one here, and I'm actually going to pop over and give a quick, because we lost a little bit of time, I'm going to give a quick shout out to Clipchamp. Now, I and Lynn and Lisa and I, we are all in love with Clipchamp. What it allows you to do is, if you have, and I don't have one on this computer, sorry guys, you click on this little button that says record video, and then super fast, super easy, it records you talking. So this is a Chromebook tool. Now, why is this useful for orientations and articulation? Well, we've been orientation 2 years in a row because I have a kindergartner and a first grader. And 1 year the teachers came in and talked, and where they didn't. And it has been crazy. And I realized what was going on was, you know what? because they just come in and told us there's going to be, like, as you saw in the pictures, there's going to be snack and they're going to put their coats away. And I told him the information wasn't really that. Who cares? He wanted to see one of the 8 human beings who will be with our kid for an entire year and walk away going, they're great. And both of them were great. But we didn't get a chance to see them talk to us like humans. They were busy doing other stuff. They didn't come in and do the presentations. Well, you know what? You could click record video if you're not going to be live standing there in orientation, or if you miss back to school night, and you can record your thoughts. So you record video, you say, hey, I'm, Ms. Booth, and I'm going to teach first grade here. It's going to be great. And then you press space bar, and then your next thing might be space bar. In the morning, our routine looks like. You press space again. And then, so you can use this to make a 2-minute video that you can put on YouTube or in a number of other places and embed it into your slides presentation for parents to see. Because what parents say is that you're human and that you're going to like you. And this is about the simplest way in the world to do it. Use this tool to have kids say these messages. So knowing that it's really easy to pause. If one kid come in and say, my favorite thing about first grade is, or I love digital media in 6th grade, or this is my favorite memory, this is my moment, this is what I want you to know. You could make a video with all 4 students saying one thing they love about 5th grade in about 10 minutes. Super, super simple. If you haven't used it, please give it a try. It's really cool. If you have any questions, go ahead and share them in the chat. If you don't, please.
Have the kids explain their thinking. So if they're doing a math activity, and we have a problem solved, and the students can read that, or listen to it, and maybe apply what they learn to the way that they solve things. We've done that a lot in the elementary level, and it works remarkably well. So I know that some of our secondary teachers have done it without us. It's that simple. It's basically click, record, stop. And it saves into the drive.
Those are, you can pull up a couple Chromebooks, put them around the space where parents are waiting to pick up kids. You can even share their work, which is pretty handy too. Now, last but not least, I'm going to go with collect. And this is a big one. How do you collect information? You can start, I'm going to show forms, and I'm going to use an example that Park made for kindergarten orientation, but really any number of ways. Their example, this is the Garrett Park example. You can see they collect their email address, the child's name. They have a translation of each one. Then, are you going early entrance to kindergarten? If you say no, we'll press continue for you. But of course, if you say, let me go back. If you say yes, they a little bit of information before you move on. Are you a U.S. citizen? Because you have to do a different office if you're not. They've also required some questions, so there's some things that you absolutely have to answer before you go through. And then information and press submit. Page of the slide they then use to explain the rest of their orientation process. So this is just a Google form. So as handy as that is, if you've used a Google form, you can give a yes in that. If you haven't, if you go to a form and have rights to edit it, you can click Edit Form, and this is what the editing page looks like. In this one, if you're going to parents, I'm going to give you the most important stuff you need to remember, which is you can't require MCPS public schools into this form. That's right, because you want everyone to be able to see it. Unlike when we did attendance, where you had to sign in to be able to add your information, right here, you don't want to require it. That will allow parents to see it. Down here, you can see all the information that's included. How did we add new things? We click Add Item, Add. See in each of the things that we did add, there's the first name is the question title, and the help text is down below. Top copy of this form. I'll throw it in the chat. This is already a copy. And I'm going to make sure that you're a collaborator. This is how if you make a copy of this form, you can share people. And I'm going to say anyone in MCPS get to my form. And if I have to find it and get to my. So you, if you were doing this and sharing with your principal, if you were sharing with another teacher, you could send form and add collaborators. Share the form for someone to take. This handy short link will take you there. In the form, which you want your parents to do, it's nice to send them an email bounce back that says, thanks for filling out our form. And here's your information, which you can do on with add-ons. If you've never added an add-on, you come up to add-ons and get add-ons. And we recommend Form Publisher. Form Publisher lets you do is it will, and happily it gives you step-by-step directions, is it creates a document and an email that goes to a user. So in this case, we have asked the participants to give an email address and have them make a document, which there's a nice little handy template for you that says, here's all your parent information. If you have any changes, get back to us and contact us. Broad picture of forms. You could come to this form and go file, make a copy for yourself. You can edit it. Of course, if you're not Garrett Park, you probably don't want to say Garrett Park. You can add in additional fields if you wish to, and you can use Form Publisher to send an email back to the parent saying, thanks for filling out the form. All if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. Give me a smiley face. I should remember to give me you.
I threw in the chat that this is definitely something that we, Lynn, Carrie, and I, or your instructional technology specialist can help us. We actually work with other schools to get these kinds of things going.
Now, closely with Garrett Park to build this one, and we'll be glad to come out and help you with it as well. We want to make sure it works and works well. Now, next thing, this is kindergarten orientation, but it's true in a lot of places. You sometimes have a sign up and you want people to sign up, but you don't want you don't want, if you have a party, you don't want everybody to bring cupcakes. Somebody's got to bring the bananas. And kindergarten orientation, you want people to sign up for slots and times. One of the things that Garrett Park chose to use, and you probably have somebody in your school, I'm going on a limb here, that's using Sign Up Genius in your school. Well, I would have used Google Forms and an add-on called Tornado. It's much easier to simply use Sign, which is elementary schools. You've got somebody in there using it. You've got expert in the building. They use Sign Up Genius, set up time slots for their parents to sign up for, and then they manage the sign-ups here. So rather than a big piece of paper in the office, they use Sign Up Genius. If it in the chat. Last tip of the day actually is using, before Sign Up Genius for open house parent conferences. Actually a great thought. My school actually did this. In addition for me, I bring the banana ghosts on Halloween party. It's a booth face specialty. You pretty much draw faces on bananas and cut them in half, and kids like to eat them more. So that's free information for life. It's about the easiest parent thing you can bring in. They also used Sign Up Genius to sign up for conferences on open house night. So I've seen it used that way, and it's a great idea. I'm actually going to shift back over, and we're going to use Google Docs. Super simple. Open up a new document here. I'm going to share it with all of you. advanced, and to make it simple, to make sure everybody can get to it, I'm going to say anyone in MCPS can edit this doc. Idea. And this is a sign up, a registration. This works really well for collecting information on the very first day of class, right up to, and I love this for kindergarten orientation because it's so simple. You have a list of kids you know are coming because you use your sign up genius. You're great like that. And so you have all the kids in the class. I'm going to write names here, and I'm going to invite everybody with me. You can come here and you can add your name. Like here's mine, Kid Booth. I'm signing up for kindergarten. Good like that. There's Lisa. Right? Birthday information, and then I have picture. This is a big deal. Getting pictures of every kid was a big deal at my kids' orientation. You make this doc. You have one person at the registration table. They know who's coming. Probably, this might be time slot. So I know my orientation's at 1 o'clock, and Lisa, yours is going to be at 1:15, right? When you come in, they want to take a picture. You press Insert Image. Lisa's already beat me to it. And then you use here, you come in and you actually take a snapshot. And what's so cool about take a snapshot is it's built right into the Chromebook. So all you need to do is have the kid or you as a human click take the snapshot, and you press the red button, and boom, you take a picture, and that picture gets right into the doc right here, right now. And you can come back later and take this picture and save it with the kid's name. But you get a running total of all the kids you see there. And if you see a kid running to the left, you need to know what their name is. Their picture right in front of you. So it's a super simple way to collect information from students and get their pictures really low tech. Tech and putting them out there is kind of our last piece. If you can find a reason for parents to touch a Promethean board, that's a thing most of them have never done before. If you could put a Chromebook down and ask them to fill out information while they're waiting at an orientation stop, it's a great to collect information and have the parents use the tools the kids will use. Also, almost all these tools, including forms, are available on phones. So it's a very accessible tool because it's free and it's cross-platform. So even if you have parents whose only internet is phone internet, they can get to and use these tricks and tips of having to have landlines, full-on computers, Wi-Fi at home, etc. Go ahead and throw them in the chat. Remiss if we didn't connect you with more support. Each school has at least 2 instructional technology specialists assigned to them. We do these Appy hours bi-weekly, and of course we go to all of them and put them up on our site. So if you're looking for ideas, we reference 2 ones from the past. Even more. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter. And once you set up your account and you start tweet decking, follow us, we'll follow you, and we always promise to tell you when Appy hours are coming up so you can join us. Keep on connecting cool apps with Rockstar Instruction.